Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast brought to you by Birmingham Live.
Hello, welcome back to the Claret and Blue podcast. My name is Dan Robertson. I'm back from holiday. I had a week off. Aston Villa were back in action after what felt like a really long international break. A couple of rubbish England games in there as well. And come back exciting, raring to go. Leeds away, here we go. Aston Villa 0-0. Really kind of boring game, it feels like, to talk about. Ash, we'll try and dissect this for the next 15 minutes or so. You're there, obviously, still in Ellen Road, as we can see from the background. I mean, it's a terrible background. That was all the pipes and stuff at Ellen Road. Nasty.
It's old. You never been? It's old, really old school.
Never been. Good atmosphere, etc., for the Leeds fans that stumble on this and have a go at us. How was it, Ash? First of all, how were you? How was last week without me here? I know you did a couple of shows. That'll go okay?
Yeah, John stepped into the hot seat pretty well, Dan. All good. International break was pretty tough going, wasn't it, really? Yeah, not much happening. Boring as anything. And so you're raring to go for this one. Good chance to get some. Villa have lost last 4 away games. You're thinking, come on then, let's start showing a bit. And then Leeds get 10 men. And you're thinking, come on then, can we score a goal? But yeah, it didn't happen today. Really frustrating. Gerrard just bit the head off a little bit as well.
Why? What did you say?
I asked about Cameron Archer, really. Just thought, is he jumping at the bit now, given what Ollie Watkins is? Ollie Watkins, he missed a few chances today. Let's not beat around the bush. Watkins missed a few chances. I asked about Archer. Is he jumping at the bit to get some more game time? Didn't feature today. I know he's had an injury. And he said, you always ask about Cameron Archer, and you've asked me 25 questions. I think 19 of them have been about Cameron Archer, which is not true at all. But yeah,
not true. It's actually 20.
Yeah, it's actually 20 actually. So, but yeah, very frustrated, and that typified Gerrard's mood downstairs. So he did say Villa have turned a corner, given it's three unbeaten now. Dan, I know I know this feels like a pretty defeat, really, but 3 unbeaten, another clean sheet, and had we nicked a goal, got 1-0. We were not talking about these questions about progress and stuff like that. So fine margin, still tons of work to do, according to Gerrard. Even doubt about him with injuries, you got to deal with that, and I get that. Augustinson, he looks at for a spell on the sidelines today as well. Conte did a job there. So it's very much a dig in and don't get beat kind of thing. And we pushed towards the end. Ollie Watkins just couldn't get the better of Illan Melia in goal. Simple as that. He's lacking a bit of ruthlessness in that final third, a little bit of quality in terms of the finishing. It's a really frustrating one. I think we'll wake up tomorrow in a better mood. I think it's one of them ones where now you're really thinking, God's sake, should have beat them. 10 men. You got to go and force the issue, but Villa didn't do that today, so it feels like a defeat. And yeah, Villa's. How have you summed the season up so far? Villa's. Bang average.
It's
rubbish.
8 games played now, 8 points, which
one of the lowest scorers in the league as well, given the talent we got in that final third and the money spent there. Not good enough. Defence are doing their job. Come on, you got to give them credit for what Conte was good. Mings was decent today. Martinez had his first shot to save in the 77th minute. So restricted Leeds to next to nothing. It's that final third, needs to sharpen up there rapid.
You've gone through a lot of talking points there, and that is the kind of the crux of Aston Villa. There's like 4 or 5 different key issues, and we'll try and go through them a little bit. Loads of comments about Watkins already, so we'll get back to that. You did just say there, though, if we'd have nicked that 1-0 or we scored a couple of goals at the end or whatever with the 10 men, you would have thought, let's not ask too many questions about progress and stuff. I still think there would have been some questions. I still think there's some kind of worry about the direction we're heading in and whether a win just kind of papers over the cracks. But a win is a win, and you could just go, right, Ellen Road, difficult place to go, you've won, let's move on, and fans would have taken that. My kind of really low level kind of expectation is if you're playing against 10 men and you're in the game, either you're 1-0 down or it's 0-0, well, obviously you're winning, obviously. But there's plenty of game left to go. And obviously today it was 48 minutes or whatever. It was an early red card, wasn't it, in the second half? Yeah. Anytime that happens, I would just go, right, you should win now. I know it's not as simple as that, but you've got a man advantage for a long period of the game. You're still in it when it happens at 0-0. You've only got to nick 1 half chance to score and win. So you should always win if you go behind, is my very basic kind of level of thinking. And I know that it's easy for Leeds just to sit in and go, right, we've got to defend now. We go back to the wall kind of thing. And it's our job to break them down. And I said after the Man City game, I think that game, the system that we played at being on the counter kind of works for us. But I've still got concerns if we've got to go and break a side down. And then I've watched 2 boring games against Southampton and then Leeds today. I thought Villa can't really score goals. And you've got lots of money up front, lots of players with good creativity, and they've come before with X amount of goals, X amount of assists, and then they come to Aston Villa and you think, they don't look quite right. And there's a lot of talent there that should be able to go to Leeds away there with 10 men and go, right, 2-0, job done, move on, next game. And I've kind of watched Ollie Watkins have a few chances and go, is that the best finisher we've got here? Is that the best finisher at the club here?
Yeah, 19 shots on goal today, Dan. 19 shots, 7 on target. And yeah, I mean, it just
hit the post as well, didn't we? Or the bar.
The post, Coutinho, and then the post, and then Watkins should have finished. Really, he went with his right foot for some reason, and shanked it wide. And yeah, we're desperate to see Villa just to make a bit, just to see something, and we're clinging on to that, and it just feels a little bit just short at the moment.
We're just treading water, aren't we?
We are treading water, yeah.
We're just going along and putting, and I know we kind of said that go back to basics, defend first. Now I said get Aston Villa nil before anything else. I can't now sit here and complain about that. Getting a clean sheet is important. It's a good building block, but it's like we've sacrificed everything for that. Get the clean sheet, but we've sacrificed everything for it. We've got nothing else. We'll get the clean sheet and we'll be hard to break down, and we'll get the nil. But beyond that, we'll create absolutely nothing going forward, or be ruthless enough to finish any chances we do get. I think the XG was something like 1.8 or 2, which shows that we've had decent chances and should have scored, and we should have won the game. Let's face it, and be fair to them. We've created enough chances in that game to win it, but finishing's let us down. And over the course of the season, if finishing keeps letting you down, we're on now 8 points, 8 games. We're on average to 38 games, 38 points, which is the relegation battle season. So at some point, your forwards have got to click into gear and start scoring some goals. You should have won 2 or 3-0 today.
Exactly that, and the defence can only help you out for so long, and they're doing their jobs pretty well at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
And you're gonna get dragged down if you're not taking your chances, aren't you? Leeds could have nicked one at the end there. Bamford looked a threat when he came on, and Martinez was equal to his effort. So yeah, you can get caught there. But Gerrard said Villa have turned a corner. Gerrard's pretty bullish in his mood, and he said there's loads to work on. But he was pretty content in the way Villa set up and the way Villa went about it. Just that final finishing, let them down, and fine margins. That's what it come across from Gerrard in his presser. He said, "Had Watkins scored one of them goals, you're not asking these questions, are you?" So
yeah, but he didn't. Yeah, so
I know exactly that.
He's had time and time again of having 2 or 3 chances in the game where we've all got kind of said, "Probably should have scored that. Probably should have scored one of them." So yeah, if he does score, we're not having this conversation, but he didn't, and he hasn't for a long time.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, Gerrard said he's got enough up there, not enough firepower there, so it's up to him now to make it work. I'm not sure, but I think this one's one of them. We'll wake up in a better mood tomorrow. It's 3 unbeaten, and we got a Forest next week, so yeah, I'm just one of frustration.
Must win now. I think Forest is must win. We said earlier in the season about must-win games. It's too early, but I think 9 games into a season, it'll be Monday when we play Forest, so we'll be the last ones to play. Forest are 19th or 20th. I think they play tomorrow, don't they, against Leicester?
Yep.
Forest are in a mess. If you've got to go there and win to at least get some kind of positivity. We're not. How many goals have we scored on the road? Is it 2 or something?
Yeah, desperate. Really, it's just the calendar year as a whole. It's 8 wins out of 28. Where are we going?
At some point, you have to say must win, because you can't just go in. Oh, it's 8 wins in 25. I think it's 8 wins in 30. Like, you've got to win at some point.
We're treading water, aren't we? Make a fantastic point. We're treading water at the moment. We don't know what we are. We're sleepwalking. Where are we taking this at the moment? Mid-table. Is that all we are?
Well, I'm not even sure you creep over to mid-table at the moment.
No, not on the form of showing.
With the form that we're on, yeah. Do you agree with the phrase that we've turned a corner? Do you agree with what because I've seen that headline, we've turned a corner, we've done this, we've done that. You were in there. Do you agree with that? Does that make sense to you? Do you think we have turned a corner?
I can see the elements of it. He did back it up by saying we haven't gone up an extremely high level, but they've turned a corner in the sense of they've got results. It's 3 unbeaten, 5 points from the last 9 available, clean sheet here on the road. Looking better defensively. I can see it all. Villa are set up better back to front. They've dealt with the injuries today. Conte shifted over. They've done jobs. It's that final third. Buendia, Coutinho, Ollie Watkins. There's enough there, I
thought 2 fair times there was moments where I thought, for those that aren't up to date with that stuff, I was away on holiday last week, physically away on a plane. I got back last night at like 3 a.m. last night. I barely slept. So the last thing I want to watch today is a boring Aston Villa game. There was times in that first half I'm thinking, oh my God, like I'm going to drift off to sleep in a sec. Like, give me something to entertain me. Football's about entertainment. I want to see some goals. But there were moments where Coutinho had a bit of a flash or something, or Watkins made a bit of a chance for himself, and you think, okay, there's something there. There is something in this side. But I'm just not seeing it consistently enough to go, yeah, like at some point we'll turn the corner and we'll batter a couple of sides. Because as much as you can say we're unbeaten in 3, the Man City result kind of skews that a bit because no one expected it. It's 3 points from Man City, Southampton and Leeds. Whereas you'd have better off, you lost to Man City and won 3-0 today, you'd still got 3 points. And I expect us to do more in those games against Southampton and Leeds and Forest coming up next, and Leicester, if we had played it when it was postponed a few weeks ago, to go, we should be able to take the game to these kind of sides that we expect to be better than. I know football doesn't work like that you expect to be better than people, but Villa have a squad that they've assembled that's cost a lot of money that should be doing better than it is my point.
Yeah. I think we're stuck in between. I mean, beat Forest next week. I know it's put to maybe. Beat Forest, it all looks brighter again, doesn't it? You're 4 unbeaten, you're just coming off the back of a win. So it's a tough one to really gauge, really. It's a tough one to really gauge. It's one of them, banging me head against the wall, Dan. What do you say about it, really?
Well, this has kind of been the theme of the podcast for the whole season, really. And I think we said, give it 8 games, give it 10 games before we start to judge, and we're at that stage now when it's time to judge. It's time to assess where we are, where we're heading this season. And like I said, when we've got to go and break a team down, I don't know if we can do that. I think looking at our next couple of fixtures, talk about Forest, but Chelsea. If Chelsea are going to come on to us and we can play on the counter and sit back a bit and have a bit of pace up front with Watkins and Bailey, and we do something against Chelsea, we'll kind of go, oh yeah, like we've got something here. This is our style. But then when we go and play Fulham, Brentford, and Newcastle, and the onus is on us to go and do something, kind of back to square one, going, well, Villa can't break a side down. But when they can, they get 6 decent chances, but Watkins can't finish, or Coutinho's at the post or whatever. I know there's a bit of an element of luck in that as well, but we've talked a lot about Coutinho's kind of goal contributions over 19, 20 games now of 1 goal or whatever it is. Watkins needing 3 or 4 really decent chances to even score a goal. It's not sustainable, is it? That's a problem.
No, it's not sustainable at all. And I mean, were the changes made a bit too late today? Danny Ings getting 10 minutes at the end.
What is happening with Archer? Let's talk about that quickly. When we first started, all the comments were about Watkins, drop in, play Ings, play Watkins, play Archer, finishing rubbish, etc., etc. Loads of comments about it. What was the point of keeping Archer around? Because he's not played since the transfer window. He's not played. He's not going out on loan and scoring even 10 goals in the Championship. I can take that if he's getting 15, 20 minutes here and there, because we're developing in here elite training facility, body more elite players on paper, a lot of money spent anyway. Keep him around that environment and let him kind of craft his game here. I understand that, but if he's not playing, he could have played 6 or 7 Championship games since then. Keenan Davis has gone to Watford and scored a couple of goals. Cameron Archer sat on our bench doing nothing. No.
Yeah, because what we've seen over the last 6 months, 12 months, Cameron Archer scoring freely, scoring good goals, being in the goals for Preston, England under 21s, and a good pre-season as well. I was there, watched him. I thought, okay, he's going to get the odd half hour here and there, get a few goals, and he was kept on for a reason. We just haven't seen him. You coming into this one, he had an injury, bit of a groin issue. But yeah, I asked Gerrard about him because it's a big talking point. Fans want to know what the crack is with him. You make a good point down. What's going on with him? So I asked the question, and Gerrard didn't take too well to it, and yeah. So, but yeah, we want to see more of him. He's a goal scorer. What did Villa lack today? A goal scorer. And 1-on-1, who you put your money on? I think you put Archer given his form. So it's you want to see more of him. We've seen him banging goals in the Championship for the England youth sides, and we're not seeing him, are we? So questions are going to get asked. Why not? Okay, does he not cut it? Okay, I get that. But I don't know. So yeah. I thought it was Jesse Marshall, but it's not. So yeah, I mean, yeah, the questions are going to get asked anyway because Villa should have scored more goals today. But yeah, it is what it is. So
I mean, there is a bit of the flip side of it, a bit of devil's advocate, the injuries at the back. Cash and Dean both missing. Dean for another couple of weeks. Kamara out till after the World Cup, I think I read last week. Then Augustinson comes in for his debut, another new signing. He gets injured with that what looked like a hamstring injury, which could again be another, say, a month. Ezra Constance shifting over. Young's coming over from right back to left back, and it is all a bit kind of cobbled together. So I kind of have a little bit of sympathy there, but defence hasn't been the problem, which is just the ironic side of it. We're not kind of looking at it going, oh, well, Augustinson's gone off after however long and we've lost 3-0. Like, that's disappointing. We kept a clean sheet with a bit of a kind of cobbled together defence. They're not the problem. It's again, same issues. Midfield doesn't look right. McGinn doesn't look right to me. And then when we do make chances and whatever you said it was, 19 shots, we scored 0. So have 100 shots if you're not going to score. It doesn't matter, does it? Watkins not good enough. Bailey, shrug my shoulders. I don't know. I'm not sure. Sometimes I think, oh yes, something there, and then other times I think just try something different. I saw a tweet. I don't know who it was. That I'd like to see him off the left sometime and just pace, just run down the touchline and hog it, whip a ball in.
Do the basics, yeah.
Instead of just being on the right hand side, just floating in, cutting inside, right hand side, cutting inside. It's like it's predictable. We know what we're going to get. Remember when Dia, Coutinho, that age-old debate that we're going to talk about forever and more until one of them leaves the club.
Coutinho, Buendia, sick of that debate. Yeah.
Every time Buendia comes on, you think, why is he not starting games? Then Buendia
Then he
starts
starts,
the game and he doesn't do anything. You think, oh, I don't know what we're doing here. We're just going round and round in circles. But I still have this kind of nagging feeling in the back of my head that team, and I said it towards the start of the season, that it could be a top 8 side or it could be a top 10 side, and people laughed at me and said that's silly, and it looks at the further it goes on where we look kind of hopeless during games. But I still got this nagging feeling in the back of my head that the coaching staff there, and it's a big coaching staff at Villa, there's a lot of coaches there doing various things, should be getting more out of this side than 14th and 1 point per game.
100%. Time to show us now. 8 games left before the World Cup. Let's show us then. Maybe seen a little, dropped 2 points today. And Forest next up. Got Chelsea and stuff like that. So it's now or never really. This 8-game period will define the season. Will see how Gerrard's future looks and stuff like that. We can kick on. Can we do that? The questions are going to be asked week on, week out now. Tough game going to Forest next week. Full house down there as well. So, but if we win there, it's all looking pretty rosier again, isn't it? We have turned that corner. We're 4 unbeaten now. We've just won on the road again. So, but we just fell short here today. And the injuries you mentioned as well. Augustinson looking for a few weeks out, Dan. I thought he did all right in that first half. I feared the worst when he was carded after 6 minutes. Yeah, but he did okay. Bednarak did all right when he came on. Bamford got in on his side, but other than that, the defence is okay. It's that midfield, isn't it? It's not really free throwing. We're not creating too many chances down the middle. It's from cutbacks and half chances going in there. But it's a lot of frustration today. That's the word to take from this one. 0-0 against a 10-man lead side for the second half. We've got to be putting into the sword, especially what we witnessed back in March, where we romped home to 3-0 right here. And have we progressed since then? It's tough to say, wouldn't it? No, we haven't.
It's not even up for debate, is it? Because
no, it's not.
We've beaten 3-0 that day, and probably our best game under Steven Gerrard, or one of them.
Yeah.
And today we've played out a 0-0 and looked pretty
good. It all depends how you look at it, really. I mean, taking the points off Man City, that looks good now, doesn't it? Given their display today.
It's a good result, but you've got to back it up. And have we
backed it up?
With points in Southampton and Leeds? Probably not. It's good to be unbeaten and to keep ticking along. I understand that. But like I said, you'd be better off losing against Southampton and winning today from a points perspective.
Yeah, 100%.
So, I don't know. Like I said, there's kind of that little bit of caveat to the injuries, and we're kind of back to square one with midfield with no Kamara in there, and Carlos and Matty Cash and Dean. That's a big bulk of the team not available.
It is, key players.
I understand that. But using all that as a caveat, we still created 7 clear-cut chances or whatever you said it was, and we still not scored. So, I don't know. It's just strange. It's hard to kind of assess it kind of straight after the game, but it's like I've said a couple of times about Gerrard and Villa kind of being on this knife edge of we either we win a game and go, oh, okay, maybe we have turned a corner and we're doing something decent, or we go, oh, we've not really done anything. What are we doing? What is the style of play? Full time goes, and Twitter is abysmal, shocking, hopeless, like these words that come out every time that we don't win a game. And you just wonder how much longer that can go on for before we go, okay, well, there's got to be a managerial change at some point just to freshen it up, if nothing else. And we're just kind of going this cycle again of, That's what you said before. What Matt said about no continuous improvement, which is the line I used to sack Dean Smith. We had continuous improvement under Steven Gerrard. No.
The calendar year would suggest not. No.
So, Wolves have sacked their manager, haven't they? So they've not had a great start to the season. I thought we need to make a change. So you wonder, us, other clubs, Forest, Leicester, all the Midlands clubs basically in a bit of trouble, wondering how the rest of their season will pan out. And you watch Villa against Leeds, against 10 men, and think, maybe this is the game. We'll score a couple of goals, and it's 0-0, and we just think, meh.
Yeah,
see what happens
it's one of them,
at
isn't it?
Forest, which is a bit of a rubbish place to be, really. We're just going, we'll wait and see what happens at Forest. That's not a great place to be, is it? We should be going, we won today, let's go there and do this and do this and do this. And it's not like that. I think there's a lot of people just have this kind of apathy that they almost don't even care what happens now. Just kind of put us out of misery.
It's that happened. Yeah, it's one of them. It's one of them, isn't it? It's one of them ones.
Shrug your shoulder and go home. So I'm going to let you
That's
go.
what I want to get home. Yeah,
We've done 20 minutes or so.
get me home.
Yeah, big
Get me out of there.
It feels weird. We'll do another podcast later in this week and build up to Forest, which is obviously next Monday. So we'll have another we'll do like an hour-long Q&A or something in the week and try and actually sit down and properly assess what's going on, because straight after the game it does feel a bit raw and you just think,
Does you?
need to take things back and read quotes properly and stuff. So, yeah. If this was a score report, you'd be going, must do better, can do better. That's how you do it. E-, must do better. See me after class. Ash, thanks for your time, as ever. Thanks for everyone for watching on live on Sunday evening. Like I said, we'll catch up again in the week as well. Big size, big shrug of the shoulders. And we'll see you again soon.
Thank you for listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please do let us know. We love hearing your feedback. We'll be back soon with another episode. But until then, up the Villa.